Produced by Anna Raevskaya. A film by Rishat Nafikov. Film Project, Stone Bread.
Today, I want to tell you about a mountain hike we took this summer. It all started with a train ride. Well, actually, if I'm being precise, it really started at the Mekop National Museum. We learned about the battles that happened in the Caucasus during World War II. The guide showed us soldiers' letters, medals, uniforms and gear. They told stories of heroism, of what life was like under occupation. Even today, they still find artifacts from Soviet and German troops. Sometimes even the remains of fallen soldiers. We spent a few hours there. Honestly, I didn't remember everything. It was a little boring. Most of us were thinking ahead about the hike.
Bread of Stone, a documentary script.
When we arrived at the Lagunaki Plateau, we rushed to set up camp before dark. Tents, fire, dinner.
Маминого рюкзака, давай овощи быстро.
I remember the museum guide mentioning that this was the site of a successful 10-day Soviet offensive in 1942. Just to clarify, we were hiking from Mykop to Mount Fisht, but the 23rd and 33rd NKVD border regiments were moving the opposite direction back then. This was my first real hike with tents, backpacks and no comforts. Everything was unfamiliar. I'll admit, I was scared, really scared. There were lots of highs that day, a few lows too, but overall, a good start. Only people who've spent a night in the woods will understand this. First it's cold, then everything gets soaked with dew. And the sounds from the forest, constant rustling, creaking, even the smallest animal can scare you to death. That night, raccoons snuck into our camp. We woke up before sunrise. But when morning came, the forest smelled and looked completely different. It was beautiful.
Это трудно рассказать, лучше увидеть все самим.
After breakfast, we set out again. Just a few hundred meters down the trail, we came across a monument.
Осенью 1942 года, в ночь со 2 на 3
In the fall of 1942, two Soviet border guard units, led by Krivoshein and Chudakov, slept behind enemy lines during the night of September 2nd.
By dawn, they had pushed the Nazis out of the Azish Pass. Фашистов удалось выбить с Азишского перевала. Но мы прошли дальше.
We moved on, but quickly realized our packs were too heavy. At the entrance to the reserve, we had the option to rent horses for the heaviest gear. We repacked and sent most of the load ahead to the sea shelter. We thought the hike would be easier now. We were wrong. Even without the full packs, our backs and legs ached after just a few kilometers. Hiking in the mountains is nothing like walking at home. Every incline drains you. We ran out of water quickly, and all we thought about was the next spring. I tried not to think about being tired. Nature distracted us. The landscape changed constantly. At Abadzesh Pass, we found another monument. It commemorates a fierce battle. German forces had fortified the ridge to cover their retreat. The monument honors Sergeant Shishko.
Полк не мог пройти по хорошо простреливаемой альпийской местности.
Pinned down by a German machine gun, he climbed up the rocks, got close and took it out with grenades. The enemy fled on horses they had hidden nearby. His leave handwritten notes among the stones. We left ours too. The hike got harder, we wanted to stop, but we found the spring and took a long-needed break. Mountain water is precious. You have to drink slowly, swish it first, it helps. The next stretch was even worse. We realized our route was badly planned. We added several unnecessary kilometers, but the decision was made. We were heading to the shelter. The horses were already there. There were a lot of other groups at the shelter. Even though we were tired, we followed the same routine. Fetching water, firewood, tents, dinner. But we realized we didn't bring enough bread. I don't have much to say. I was exhausted. All I remember is the trail. Up, down, no flat ground. Just rocks. Tricky footing, no margin for error. But the nature was stunning, untouched. You could tell people rarely come here. It feels strange and heartbreaking to think that soldiers died here. They fought not just to survive, but to win. We had to get up early to make breakfast, but when I woke up, I felt like I hadn't slept at all. My muscles ached. The night had been even colder than the last, and the morning dew soaked everything. I could barely bring myself to start packing.
Вся группа чувствовала себя так же.
The entire group was worn down. From here on, we had no horses, we had to carry everything ourselves. The dew-dashed gear made it even harder. We brought too much, so we led some supplies at a local shelter called Titse. To Yehi Salatsam Boishen, the Dvori place held Nazi supply depots, destroyed during their retreat on August 28, 1942. What the soldiers endured over 80 years ago, you have to walk this path yourself. It felt like their presence was still with us, like they never left. Even though our guide promised today would be easier, it wasn't. The trail was littered with loose rock, gravel that slipped beneath our feet, and thick grass that tangled our steps. Steep climbs were followed by even steeper descents.
Крутые подъемы сменялись спусками, которые были еще сложнее. Солнце жгло все сильнее и сильнее.
The sun beat down mercilessly. There was no water until midday, when we reached Lake Pshehosu, a moment of real joy. Even though the water was freezing, we drank our fill and even tried to swim.
И даже пытались искупаться. В годы войны это озеро было полноводным.
During the war, the lake was much fuller. No battles happened right here, but just imagining what it must have meant to reach fresh water then, it gives you chills. From there, the trail climbed again, higher and harder than before. The landscape became more breathtaking with every step. The mountains towered around us. Our group stretched for miles. Some fell behind, but at last we reached a Fischtochten pass and we were relieved, yet this place holds dark memories.
На рассвете 28 августа 1942 года
On August 28, 1942, at dawn, Soviet border guards launched a fierce assault on the pass. The entire saddle was fortified by Nazi machine gun nests and bunkers. The mountain ridge had been mined, but in the mist and rain the guards managed to reach the pass. 11 soldiers died in the fight.
Сильный туман и мелкий дождь позволили пограничникам вплотную подойти к седлу.
One of them was Kirill Lukyanovich Spridanyuk. He stormed the ridge with his unit, engaged the enemy in hand-to-hand combat. When he was surrounded, he pulled a grenade, sacrificing himself and 5 enemy soldiers. His bravery still echoes here.
На гребень перевала, вступил в рукопашную схватку с фашистами, а когда был окружен, он взорвал себя и 5 фашистов гранатой. Мы дошли до приюта Фишт.
We didn't reach the fish shelter until after dark. There was barely any food left and no bread at all. We couldn't even light a fire. We ate and set up camp in total darkness.
Первое впечатление на день. Это, конечно же, боль во всем теле, боль от рюкзаков.
My first thought today, pain from the backpack, from walking. We hiked for hours, up and down, not like yesterday, no flat sections, no breaks, just stones everywhere. You had to keep your eyes on the trail so you wouldn't fall.
Под ноги постоянно приходилось смотреть, чтобы не споткнуться, не убиться там. Но а так природа просто
But the nature, it was breathtaking, untouched, pure, no trash, no signs of people, just the trail itself. It's strange to see that people died here. They weren't just walking, they were fighting to the death.
Даже немного странно, немного горько, обидно, что в таких красивых местах люди раньше погибали, что они сражались тут не на жизнь, а на смерть.
Day 4 started just as hard as the others, and I know this sounds funny. But during the night, wild horses came and ate part of our food. We kept moving, and I think that day we learned something important. At Belorechensky Pass, we...
Everyone, please sit for just a moment. Vlada, would you like to sum things up?
It's hard to understand what hiking really is until you try it. And it's even harder to imagine what the soldiers went through here. Out there, the things we take for granted become essential, and the things we think are valuable, they don't matter. A single presentation can't explain everything. There's so much you didn't get to share. But maybe what matters most is just remembering. And if you want to really understand, just go, walk there yourself. So, what did you think of the presentation?
I liked it. Too bad you couldn't fit everything in.
Проснулись все, кому спалось, на небе что-то взорвалось. Я распахнул свое окно и глянул вверх. И тут мне сзади говорят: ты посмотри, опять бомбят. А я в ответ: да это ж просто фейерверк. Кому ответ? Кто говорил? Ведь я один в квартире был. Жена у матери давно, наверное, спит. Я обернулся, что за бред? Передо мной стоял мой дед, который в 45-м был убит. Шинель пилотка ППШ, а я стоял, едва дыша, и головой своей мотал, чтоб сон прогнать. Но дед не думал уходить, он попросил воды испить, потом сказал: присядем, внук, чего стоять. Напротив деда я сидел и словно в зеркало глядел, и дым махорки незнакомый мне вдыхал. А он курил и говорил про то, где воевал, где был, и как на ударе в него снаряд попал. Тут его взгляд задумчив стал, и дед надолго замолчал, потом вздохнул и произнес: скажи мне, внук, ты отчего же так живешь? Как будто свой башмак жуешь, как будто жизнь для тебя сплошной недуг. Я растерялся, но потом ему все вывалил грудом, что современный человек такая дрянь, что я ишачу на козла, что в людях совесть умерла, и что отмыться им не хватит в мире бань. Я что-то там еще кричал, но тут кулак на стол упал, горячим страшным взглядом дед меня сверлил. Тебе б со стороны взглянуть, мой внук, на жизни твоей суть, и ты тогда б совсем не так заговорил. Ты был талантлив, всех любил, но все в деньгах похоронил, искал разгадку смысла жизни, а теперь ты ищешь баб на стороне, забыл о сыне и жене, и между миром и тобой стальная дверь. Неужто ради ваших склок за хлеб и зрелище мешок мы погибали под огнем фашистских крыс? Эх, нету Гитлера на вас, тогда б вы поняли за час всю ценность жизни, ее прелесть, ее смысл. Уже рассвет входил в мой дом, и пели птицы за окном. Солдат исчез, и я вдруг начал понимать: в любом из нас сидит война, не знаю, чья в этом вина, и нам нельзя на ней, ребята, погибать. В любом из нас сидит война, не знаю, чья в этом вина, и нам нельзя на ней, ребята,